McElroy, and I am coming to you today because I had an interesting thought. As a professional toddler wrangler, as I like to call it, aka a mom, I was wondering, all the things we were worried about when we had our children. First and foremost was that they came out happy and healthy with 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, 1 nose, and preferably all in the same places. But how many of us have given thought as to what we should feed our child? Well, the answer is breast is truly best, according to the World Health Organization and the American Pediatrics Association. Today we are going to discuss the science behind it, but we really need to go over the options first. The first option would be formula, that we will discuss, and the second would be breastfeeding. Now, on the topic of formula, we really should consider that all formula is based on cow's milk, and while it's been around since approximately the 1800s, it wasn't regulated until the 1920s. In the 1920s, we started to form a plan around the actual protein content and carbohydrates. With the rise in popularity of formula through the 70s and 80s, we actually came out with the Infant Formula Act, and that really honed in on the precise amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and all the other fortifications that we put into formula. That being said, formula is a little harder for babies to digest. According to the World Health Organization and APA, formula is considered a health and safe alternative to breast milk, which brings us into why breast is best. Breast milk and breastfeeding really have been the only natural options throughout history. Breast milk is perfectly formulated for babies, and that makes it easier to digest. It also adjusts to baby's needs. As I showed you my toddler behind me, he's been sick for about the last 4 or 5 days with some kind of a cough, fever, all of that. And it's very interesting to note that my breast milk's actually making antibodies for him. And that is why breast milk cannot be perfectly replicated. It adjusts based on a baby's age and health needs. You do have to keep in thought your diet and health restrictions, however, where I do have a postpartum anxiety and issues with blood pressure and cholesterol. We had to take all of that into account before putting me on medications. Whatever medications or foods you ingest will go through your breast milk. The other really important thing to consider when breastfeeding is the convenience. Your supply will go with you everywhere you go. You don't have to worry about buying formula. You don't have to worry about bottles unless you pump. It's great. The only drawback to that would be that you are going to be the only one feeding the baby if you exclusively breastfeed. If you pump, you can kind of share the responsibilities. It also can heal skin issues. If your baby has a little bit of psoriasis or a diaper rash, breast milk is perfectly capable of helping heal that. It helps prevent food allergies as well. According to the World Health Organization studies, it can significantly reduce all foodborne allergies, and that's because while you are breastfeeding, whatever you eat is going through your breast milk. It exposes them at an earlier age to the different proteins and all the different allergens. All of this being said, I want you to take a look at these two babies. Can you tell me which one is breastfed and which one is bottle fed? I couldn't either from looking at them, but The one on the left is my breastfed baby, and the one on the right is my great niece, who is formula fed. She started life a little smaller than normal and had a little more catching up to do. She has been a little more sick than Connor. If you believe in the facts, it could be because of the difference in feeding. That's not to say that you can't have a perfectly healthy formula-fed baby, but formula is seen as an alternative for a reason. Breast milk truly is the optimal source for a baby's nutrition.